Krishna's last departing words to Arjuna. The ending of some mythological tales of India hold as much significance, if not more, than the legends themselves. Such are the tales associated with the end of the great epic, the Mahabharata. They relate several incidents that occurred during the last days of the Pandavas and of Lord Krishna, the eighth avatar or manifestation of Sri Maha Vishnu, one among the Divine Trinity of Deities. Each and every avatar of Vishnu had a clear mission to perform during the course of their human manifestation. After the completion of that mission, each of these avatars returned to merge with Vishnu, the Supreme Godhead. In this video, we will bring you the story about the message from Krishna to Arjuna before he sheds his mortal coil and ends his avatar on earth at the end of the Mahabharata towards the last days of the life of Sri Krishna and the Pandavas. If you watch till the end, you would come to know who Arjuna really was and why Krishna tells him not to grieve when he departs this world after completion of his mission on earth. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Now, Sri Krishna and Arjuna are sitting at the end of times, and Krishna tells Arjuna that despite being a god yourself, right now you are in the form of a man and I have tricked you in this life and a lot of your prior life, but it's always been for the greater good, else the Mahabharata battle wouldn't have happened in the first place, and that I have concealed your real form and I gave you the life of a man. I do now have to remind you of this is because you and I were both rishis in the prior life to this one. We come in a pair like God and man, and so you were a rishi in human form and I was a rishi merged with God consciousness. As we practiced great austerities after coming down on this earth, you were an antarjnani, which means you were intuitive and clairvoyant and also knew the inner workings of the world, and also were a brahmajnani, which means that you knew about the absolute or the supreme spirit. Now, when you took birth as a human being, God took out your antarjnan or the understandings of the inner workings of the world, because you would have not stayed with the Pandavas if it was the other way round. If in case you were a rishi in this life similar to the one prior, you would have remained aloof. Your elder brother Yudhishthir was in fact also an accomplished rishi but had to come down as a human being. So when you had come down as a human being, I felt bad while saying it that I kept entrapping you, that despite you being God yourself, I kept an hypnotic trance on you so that you don't understand your real self. Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, history will be written about our relationship. You have been a rishi and you had had many births before this, but I won't tell that to anyone because had I not put a trance on you, you would have not been ready to fight the war, because you are very gentle. You are never thrilled when you were up against your cousins. So under the guise of my control, existence and direction only, you attain such human births. These births are joyful, equanimous. So what I want to tell you is about your brothers, each one of them. Yudhishthira is going to get moksha. He had already attained moksha in a prior birth to this itself. A king like Yudhishthira is born only once in lifetimes. I could compare him only next to Ram, as he was a god in human form. Yudhishthir is perfected, an accomplished person, and has attained spiritual perfection in a prior birth itself. So I asked him, if you are going to join me in the Mahabharata journey, or are you going to sit idle here? Yudhishthira replied that he is going to come with me. So he had taken up a human birth even though he was a saint in the past life and took up a life of human transgressions. Krishna said that out of the 5 brothers, Yudhishthira will be getting moksha, Sahadeva will be getting moksha, Bhima won't be free as he has sinned a lot and is irritable and has a lot of passion for anger and has very bad utterances. So he won't get a life like this again too. So in a way, his life was a fall from grace and has deteriorated. Nakul is very fearful and his life has also deteriorated. So I am now going to tell you who you exactly are. Sitting together in the jungle, he told him that I would always obscure your real form in order for the greater good to be done to humanity, and you never had a separate existence from me. Arjuna asked, then who am I? As Krishna explained in Gita to Arjun prior to the war of the Mahabharata, Arjun was considering himself to be a human being. Krishna replied, you are not you. You never had a separate existence because you are powered and influenced by me only. And this influence propels to take any form I'd like to wish for in the world, like a stage play or a drama. You don't have humanly sorrows or happinesses, because if I had given you a birth like Hanuman in Ram's generation, there would have been an uproar and we would have not witnessed the birth of the Bhagavad Gita. Know that it's you who was Hanuman only, and whatever Ram would command of Hanuman would be ultimate, paramount and conclusive, because Hanuman was a higher level ascetic. So if Ram ordered Hanuman to go and execute someone, Hanuman wouldn't question it, as he was wholly and utterly surrendered to him, even though he was a hermit. And on the other hand, you had trouble lifting your bow Gandiva in the Kurukshetra war, because this is a veil that I put on you in order for your gentle nature, and because you are merely a human in this life with a balanced sattva nature, you wouldn't accept to kill anyone. So even though you are a mortal being in this life, I am going to tell you about your voyage and that I am going to go now. You won't be crossing any of the realms where other humans or rishis go to after death or samadhi. You are going to be merged and dissolved into me. So if you see, Arjuna never existed in the first place. For the sake of simplicity only, Arjun exists. Otherwise, it was always me. All that happened was for you, and it will be written down so it can be cherished and preserved for ages. This is to pay back all that I did to you in this life, because you take many lives as per my consent. Even though you are God yourself, still you behave like a human and you yield to me with no objection of your own. Hey Arjuna, you are a free soul. So when you depart this life, people around you may feel that you are proceeding to the upper planes where humans go after death. But I am telling you, you are going to merge with me. Even though a great rishi like Yudhishthir, who would still attain moksha but won't dissolve into me. So it may sound very odd to you when you hear me say this, but you were the efficient cause. You were not knowing the subtler causes of why things happened in the way they should, and I know I did that for a reason. The fact that you put your bow down before the war, the doubt and hesitation was supposed to happen, which gave birth to the Gita, the awareness of which would be disseminated for eons. As a human being, you achieved perfection in terms of being devotional. You didn't get absorbed in the Kurukshetra war, and as a being, you are aloof, and your nature is such that you would never get attached to such things, as you didn't find being at war with your own cousins encouraging in any way. The people have been slain now in the war will keep coming again and again, as they are human beings. Unlike them, if I need you to be back for a certain reason, only then will you be back. Although it seems to be like a farewell, this isn't. It's only the truth that I needed to unfold to you before I leave. So even if I leave, understand that I have always and will be here, and don't be bitter. Your sun has also set now, but in the real sense, the sun never sets, and according to my wish, you will come again as God Himself. Mahabharata was just a stopgap arrangement for you, and you were around wicked people. And as I am leaving you now, you would take over the day-to-day affairs, and when time is right, you will come back and merge into me. So what are your thoughts about Krishna's last departing words to Arjuna? Please do let me know in the comment section below. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue making interesting and thought-provoking content. I will see you in the next video.